I can't seem to win today or any other day. I really want to update you on the progress I've made in the last 2-ish weeks since the last garden tour. So this is the end of May garden tour. Welcome to my home here at New York Zone 6. Yeah, I got a lot done. Hi. I know it's only been a couple of weeks since the last garden tour, but I've gotten so much in and so much done. And the season is just a little on the warmer side, so things are moving a little quickly. And I really didn't want to miss. Plus, I'm behind on the editing, so I didn't want to go another month before getting this video out and then missing out even more stuff. So here we are for the end of May garden tour. Enjoy. Unfortunately, we're in between weather pattern, so it's cloudy, a little bit of sun up there, but the rains are coming in again. But we're gonna start here in the front area. I plugged in my basil from, these have been like indoors all winter pretty much. I need to seed if I didn't already, because these are old already and they're gonna go to flower if they haven't. I've pinched a few of these back and they're also getting eaten up because they're old already, so they're not the healthiest specimens. So I have to seed more Genovese basil there if I want anything for myself. The yarrow is doing its thing. I see aphids are making a home there, but haven't been a problem for me in general. But we got other good bugs hanging out, so it's okay. We have chamomile coming up. Weeds, I'm trying, but there's a lot of places to weed. Now, the thing with weeding also is you might lose out on some of the volunteers. Like, this is the volunteer from last year, that's a volunteer. This is a volunteer. This is either parsley or cilantro. I haven't checked thoroughly. Might be parsley. But that volunteered because I didn't weed as well as I should have. But and a marigold volunteered. And also, I think this is collard green. Some kind of lettuce hybrid from the soil that came in, so I'm not sure what that is. But those are all volunteers because I didn't weed them out. Now, what I did plant, this is also was volunteered. This is what I planted, which is interesting, the leaf pattern. Maybe that isn't chamomile. I don't know. We'll have to see what that ends up being. But because that doesn't look the same, quite the same as this, which is what I planted, chamomile. Coming up, starting to flower already. I'm not even sure if that's kind of early. Certain things are coming in a lot earlier than expected. Got the parsley there that I put in. Alright, what I did put in this week is here, chia. These were planted in too early in the house, so they're struggling. I don't know. We'll see what we can get out of these, but I'm not holding out too much hope. I plugged in nasturtiums in certain places. We've got, what are these? Cilantro? Yes. Cilantro is starting to go to flower probably pretty soon because it's warm. And black sesame. I actually did a better job labeling this season. So I have a couple black sesame. They did not germinate well for me, and yeah, we'll see if any of these make it through. Another patch of yarrow. It is also very windy, so hopefully the audio on this is not completely wasted. Here I plugged in cumin, which are already going to flower, which I don't think is good because they're still super tiny. So this is another fail of planting too early and keeping them indoors too long. And I did seed because you can direct sow, and maybe we'll have a long enough season that the second batch will come up. So we'll see if the cumin is successful. The radish here is on its way out. I don't know why I'm just keeping the ground covered for the most part. If not with weeds, then with plants. So the radish is on its way out. The thyme, that's looking beautiful. This is very many years old, but it was in a pot and struggling, but now I finally put it in the ground and it's looking beautiful. And then I plugged in a couple more, make this all nice and bushy and beautiful. because I am trying to establish this as generally a perennial herb bed. Second year biennial is this flower. Beautiful foxglove. And it's nice and tall, and it's supposed to be good for the hummingbirds. So I hope, I've seen at least one hummingbird. Oops. So I hope they at least enjoy it. I hope I can finish this video before the storm comes in. It is very windy. Alright, let me finish up this bed. This dill is the second time planted, transplant, because the first one got eaten. It's probably going to go to seed soon. That's something I need to resow seeds of. And then I've got a couple of oregano doing really nicely, recovering from the transplant. Another time, there was a sage here. Did I take it out? What the? Huh. I don't, maybe I did. There was a sage plant here I might have taken out. Oh, and the last thing I put in was something called American spinach. From the picture on the seed packet, it looks like regular spinach, but this doesn't look like spinach to me. And these are probably planted too much of, but I've got a couple that's only 1 or 2. So we'll see what those end up being later if they make it. Alright, on to the next accomplishment, which is the rice. The rice is coming up. A little sparse on this. I expected much. Can you even see that? The glare of the water is not doing it justice. I expected more. I just did expect more. Let's get to the other one. And this one is also not as dense. Like over here, there's hardly any. I don't know if that's because of the pooled water. I don't think that should be it, but yeah. So that's the rice. And the sweet potatoes are in. I did shoot a, uh-oh, wait a minute. I did shoot subsequent, video of when I planted this in, so I'll get to that in the next week or so and show you how this process went. So I believe if I did this, damn it, I don't remember now. Most of these are like the Japanese sweet potato with the white flesh. There's a couple, oh, by the leaf pattern. This is like the orange flesh, similar to, I think the Beauregard is the orange flesh. So I only did 2 of those because I don't particularly care for that one. It's a little more watery. I like the more robust flavor and texture of the white flesh sweet potatoes. So that is the majority. I only had 9, so I am rooting another one to fill this pot. Alright, what else did we accomplish in this area of the garden? The lavender is starting to come up, flowers, which is also early for me this year, but they're coming. I forgot to ID this. I tried to save it. I wanted to spray it with BT, which I eventually did, but after the fact, because it kept raining in May, so I couldn't spray in time to get to the caterpillars that like to damage this particular bush, which has beautiful, sweet smelling flowers. But eventually I got to them and it did work, but they'd already done their damage, and I only got to enjoy a couple of blooms at the end. Next year I will do better next year, and I also need to transplant this anyway, so maybe that in itself will slow or cancel the cycle of this particular caterpillar that loves this plant. Alright, we have here, we reseeded. This is the bok choy that's gone to flower. We did reseed some beets in here, so they're coming up. That's not a good look. So some beets are coming up, so I expect something hopefully out of there. And I haven't reseeded lettuce yet, but I want to reseed lettuce again there because the first batch of seeds did not go. The onion bed has been loosely weeded. Still plenty left. It's mostly these clovers, either clovers or something else. Anyway, and there's a rogue lettuce seed got in here somehow. But yeah, I think it needs to be fed heavily because these leaves are just puny and pathetic. And if I expect any kind of good harvest, I need to really do more research on that. These random assorted of overgrown onions rescued from my own stock or from the supermarket are going to flower, so I will save seeds as I can. On the green stalk. Alright, we have some activity. We have strawberries galore coming in. I think particularly these leaf, I think this is called a leaf. This is the shorter 5-gallon capacity versus the 7-gallon original. I think these are too small for these particular strawberries. Yeah, they're coming in just slow and small. I did find, I'm gonna stick to the strawberries for a minute. I found my marker for, where did it go? There was one strawberry that had pink flowers. Oh, there it is. And I found the label for it. So it is a Proven Harvest Berry Treasure Pink. So that is my only pink. And honestly, it's not doing well. It's lanky. It's very tall. It has no reason to be searching for light because there's plenty of light. And there's not that many fruits on it. So these are a hybrid. Pink flowers are a hybrid. So it's not particularly the best. But we'll enjoy the fruits when it comes. And then a majority of the strawberries here are just leaves. So I don't know what that's about. Some of them are in the taller space, so I don't think it's soil. I don't think it's nitrogen necessarily because those have fruit. So I don't know what this variety is or what, but it did not give fruit this year or last year. All right, so now on to the rest of the stalk. I've been eating, as you have seen in previous videos maybe. I've been cut and come again with the lettuce. I plugged in a couple more nasturtiums. I plugged in some arugula seeds there. All right, and then need to fill that. I have more beets seedlings that I can put in these empty pockets. Let's go around. The celery's doing okay. Not, anything great. Here's the other celery. This is a weed. Get that out. But I plugged in a couple of beets seedlings in there. And over here too. I think this is the golden. Alright, I got a tiny tom in here. It was so sad the other day, and now it's looking beautiful. My Swiss chard that I've also been coming and cutting. Down here is a sweet banana that I plugged in. It's also much better looking. We got new growth. Beautiful. This is a Swiss chard that I'm harvesting. Another tiny Tim. And down here is parsley. This was seeded like, April? It took forever to come up. I thought it was one of the lost ones, but eventually, here it is. So I at least have that parsley. I have parsley in a few places, but those aren't doing so well. And then these are spinach that are going to seed. This is a giant noble, and this is the Bloomsdale long-standing going to flower. I believe that is a lightning bug. Looks like a lightning bug. They are also early, very early this year. I don't typically see those till end of June, July. So that's very interesting. All right, what we got left over? I have a lot of leftover plants. I'm just holding them for the chickens basically. So that's broccoli there. Here is my couple of cells of beets that I need to find homes for. Down here I had planted my strawberries, the galleta, into this, I don't even know what to call this thing, but I made it into pots. So far I've only got, I've got two now. Got life in that one and life in that one, but I have not seen much happening. I got life in that one. I mean, they all look pretty decent roots, so I should get them back. I was gonna give this to my mother when I visited her, but I forgot, so that'll have to wait for another day. I'll give that to her. This is another batch of strawberries in here, and I'm pretty sure these are probably galletas too, because I remember ordering them last year, and I think this is where they ended up. That's a June bearing, and I'm pretty sure this is an ever bearing because the fruits are tinier. Here's another one with very big leaves, but these actually have fruit. And I'm working on some kind of system to get these off the ground. Some kind of basket for that. Alright, what else is over here? I have some cuttings of citronella that I'm propagating, so I need to get pots for these because I want to line them along the patio. Hopefully keep the mosquitoes away. I've gone back to the front of the house because I didn't want to miss this. This is the first year that this rhododendron has ever looked so majestic. It's in full bloom. Like last year we might have had 2 or 3 flowers. This is the first year that this is covered in beautifulness. Just wonderful. Such a nice pop of color, which is, I believe, what the original owners had wanted when they made this area, but I had not been able to experience it until today, or this week. So beautiful. Alright, that is our row of, which one is it? 9 bark. And this is a hazelnut. I always forget. Yeah, because there were others that had been transplanted recently out of this line. Alright, over here we have the hollyhocks. Primarily these should be the dark purple, but sometimes they cross and you get like a pink, so, or light purple. So we'll see what those will be in a week or so. And they self-seed pretty well, and you don't get flower the first year. So a lot of these must be second year because they're flowering. And this is what? Okay, peas. The peas I planted in the last or so video. I've got about half success. This side is up, but then it gets very sparse as you get up the line. Let me get back to the other side. Look, I don't know, because maybe these are in containers and get more sun. I don't know. So I've had a few strawberries already, like really good strawberries. I bagged a couple in case I didn't know how bad the slugs. Oh yeah, the slugs so far, knock on wood, have not been terrible this year. I have other terrible things, but the slugs have not been one. But anyway, I bagged some just in case. Yeah, we have strawberries, folks. So cool. We've eaten a couple already. My child has eaten most of them. Here's another hollyhock flower. Here's another strawberry coming up. And that one's struggling, so we'll see what that does next year. Here's another one that got, this one got eaten. You can see the chomp out of that one. Oh, and I've got it netted because we have rabbits running around. Marshmallows. I've got those 2 there. Let's see if I can find them all. These 2, I think. Looks like one's going to flower. Oh yeah, those two, but it's too young to do that. So this might be another failure on the marshmallow. There's another 2 in there. I think that's it. But yeah, those are looking very sad. No update on these, just the saffron looking sad. I did do some more weeding for the calendula. They're coming up real nice. These are all volunteers. I have not seeded any calendula so far. And then the bee balm doing its thing. The only thing I put in here is the lemon balm, and that's looking sad, but it's mint. I'm sure it's gonna bounce back, no problem. Let's swing back over to here, which I just recently did a haircut on the stinging nettle. You'll get that video after this. Yeah, I gave that a haircut. There was some damage from some type of caterpillar, of course, which may or may not be a good bee butterfly, so I saved some of them. Yeah, the haircut on the comfrey, I left some because bees and other good pests, there were spiders around, so I didn't want to destroy their habitat. But now the wind is just knocking these down. But I left some. I'll harvest these later on in the week or the next couple of weeks. Uh-oh. I think we have a problem. We have escapees. These are sting nettles outside of their container. So, uh-oh. Now I'm looking around. I think I see a couple more escapees. Nope, that's something else. Phew. Yeah, that's something else. But these are definitely stinging nettle and need to be pulled up and dealt with, because I don't really want that all over the place. Oh, these are flowering, but they're way over there. So, hold on, let me get it to you. So I believe this is a type of iris, right? We got these from my mother-in-law's. She had too much of them in her a mailbox space, so I dug it up and then dotted them in certain places, and these are coming up. They're so pretty. It's a different color from everything else around here. Here's another space that I plugged them in. Oh my goodness, they've multiplied like crazy over here. They haven't all flowered, but there is some nice color here if I could just get on top of the weeds. But these weeds are actually a wild raspberry of some kind. It's quite delicious, so I look forward to that. I'm probably gonna have to turn on the subtitles if I can figure that out, because I'm not sure the audio is picking up with all this crazy wind we're having. This blackberry is, oh, it's coming up. I see, what, flower? Very cool. Oh, this is so exciting. Apples, people, apples. Oh my gosh. This is well, let's see. This is the 3rd year of this bear. It was a bare root. So I think this is its 3rd year, and we finally have apples. Oh, that's so exciting. I didn't see any on the others. I think that's a pear. This, I think, is the other apple. I mean, they all flowered, so I'm guessing they pollinated each other. But this one does not show any fruit. I do see a caterpillar. Ugh. And then this one I just got, so I don't expect anything out of this one. I'm going to try to remember to thin out the fruit sets so that we get one big apple out of the cluster. So I'll let them get bigger and see the strongest, because the first one might get eaten before anything. But then again, there's not that many fruits at fruit sets, so maybe not. I take that back. We'll just see how it goes. Oh, yep, there's some kind of beetle. It's like a rhinoceros looking beetle. Taking out, oops, sorry, can't even see that. Taking out, Alright, hold on. Wait for the storm to pass. Alright, real quick. So there's a beetle. I can't get it to focus because it's so tiny and it's moving a lot. Oh, dang it. Come on. Nope. Well, there's a beetle on there, and it's making a brown spot on that apple, so that apple is lost. And then we also have the caterpillars that are making holes in the leaves, so that is a couple of pests we'll have to watch out for as those plants grow. Alright, continuing on. Over here, we planted out this strip. Well, this is sorrel that was in a pot struggling, so I unpotted it, plunked it in the ground. It should do well there. This is zinnias. Zinnias and then salvias. Salvia, zinnia, salvia, zinnia, blah, blah, blah. This is just like, well, for the zinnias, this is their living space, but the salvia, the salvias, this is like a temporary home until I can finalize the area over there that I'm trying to make into some kind of perennial flower space. The asparagus here is, just resting now. No more harvesting. I plunked in a few more ground cherries that I had. They may or may not make it. I did not protect them like I did that one, but all the protection in the world, and that one looks pretty pathetic from some kind of leaf damaging bug. But that should survive nonetheless. And I haven't seen any volunteers, which saddens me, but it is what it is. I have plenty of ground cherries, but I just like volunteers. What else is in this area? Nothing. Yeah, this got mowed down a little bit, weeded a little bit. Those raspberries are chugging along. There should be good fruit. If it doesn't over rain, then we get, bland fruit. But those should give good fruit. The potatoes here are doing their thing. I'm seeing yellowing down there. What's that about? Oh, there was a volunteer bean here, but that's disappeared, so something took that out. That's about it there. We got the compost doing its thing. We mowed that down. That's just a weedy mess. Yeah. Let's move on. Alright, here is the leeks, primarily leeks. I have, the celery in here are doing much better than in the green stalk. And then in the other ones, I plunked in the pumpkin. Parsley, dill. This is a dill. And this one is a parsley. I actually have double parsley. I have the curly and the flat leaf. So that's what's there. And a Swiss chard here and what's this one? Another Swiss chard, and a Swiss chard there. So that should be a nice harvest of extra greens if I remember to harvest them. They look healthy so far. The sunchokes here are doing well in their containers, and the St. Croix grape is doing very well in its container. Very nice. Very happy to finally have grapes. Alright, I finally planted some stuff in here, but I don't know how long they're gonna last. Let me see if I can read. That's a bitter melon over there. I'm only planting it for no, that's not a bitter melon. That's a blue Hubbard. That one says butternut, not bitternut. This is acorn squash and this is honey nut. But I see holes, so something's been digging around. Over here is complete failure because something is figured out how to get into this bed and eaten up the Vates kale, the red acre cabbage, burgundy broccoli. So this was just the last 2 days that these have been taken care of. So, what am I going to put in here to replace these? I don't know. Over here, we're doing a little bit better. Those are all slicing cucumbers. They're looking good. Nothing's eating them. That's puny Swiss chard, has been pretty much the same size. This collard's doing pretty well. That Swiss chard's doing really well. I should harvest some of that. That's a placeholder. That cabbage was never going to make it through. because I planted it too late, but it's a placeholder for the fall planting of cabbage. So we'll just leave it there with its beautiful flowers to attract pollinators. The peas are in. The peas are coming in this week. We should start having some yummy shelling peas. And the carrots I thinned. I filmed a video on that. I'll try to get that to you if you're interested. But yeah, we should have nicer, bigger carrots because we had quite a lot in there. These in pots are loofah. I have 3 loofah that can take advantage of the little trellis I got here and grow on that. I hope so far so good that they're still here. And then behind me is, we'll start with the rhubarb I harvested. You'll get that video. I left some of the big leaves to, like, you know, as mulch. These were for sale but didn't get sold, so I will replant them. Over here is the glory. Look how much bigger these are. I don't know if it's because they're in shade or what, but look how tall. This is as tall as me, or taller. Wait, this is taller than me. Can you? I'm gonna flip. That's close to 6 feet or something like that. Let me say that again. So that's close to 6 feet or something like that. I'm about 5'7", close to 5'8". Anyway, look how tall it is. Look how beautiful the flowers. Oh, I hope they don't get destroyed by this wind and the rain coming. And the snapdragons are snapping. Oh, I saw the other day, I mean, I don't know if this ruins the flower, but they were doing the snappy snap where they squeeze the petal and the thing opens. Can I do it? Nope, I can't do it. Nope, not working. Anyway, they're so beautiful. I love the colors. The color is so beautiful, and they haven't all bloomed yet even, so that's going to be beautiful. And the baby snaps coming in. Oh, twigs. There's going to be so many twigs dropping out of the sky. I mean, you know, the trees. But lots of beautiful snap activity going on over here. Behind me we have already flowered sage, the old 5-year-olds. This is another wild raspberry. It's coming in. Well, these are coreopsis. I remember that. This is the sage from 2 years ago. It's only starting to flower now. The chives are flowering. Oh, here's the other blue Hubbard, my security. Well, that one is the security. These are the ones that are supposed to produce because they're in open sun. So those are the blue Hubbards. I still have to fill in with melons or pumpkins or something. That's chives here. I mean, I didn't plant these. There's some purple iris, the Japanese maple. Here's my thing. This I did. That airplane was really low. This is my spearmint. It was looking pathetic for a while, but now it's finally found its footing. Which, I don't know if that's a good thing or not. Of course, there's plenty of weeds already in the pot. So that's the spearmint, and that's peppermint that I purchased. And this beetle is already here. I was gonna say it was in the potatoes. But that beetle sucks on the leaves and makes all black splotches. I would smash it, but I don't have my gloves on. This is why I wear gloves all the time. But anyway, that peppermint is doing really well in that pot. We've stopped harvesting the asparagus. They're starting to really fern out and get super tall, which is what they're supposed to do. So go on with ya. Alright, over here I have taken out from inside the house. This is the lantana. I thought this was a good idea, but it's not looking so hot, is it? I mean, they're still green. So aloe vera, is supposed to like sun and get nice and plump. And I thought I hardened it off, but maybe I don't think I did a good job hardening it off, because it looks really bad. So hopefully enough survive, and I'll bring it back in the fall. Boo. Well, over here anyway, this is more zinnias, already suffering some kind of rust looking thing on the leaves. But this artichoke is looking really good. Very big, not too bothered by bugs. The ants usually, the aphids, like artichoke. So that's what I'll have to be watching out for with that one. I stole these from my mother. Sweet William? Are these Sweet Williams? I'm not sure. But they're so pretty. So I just yanked them. I think they'll root. That one had a root, so that might survive better than these other two. And this was also given to me. I think she says this is another daisy. It's a white one. So those hold on and perennialize. So I'm happy with that. And it's a lot more than I had gotten for initially. So I'm happy, very happy with that. All right, what's next? Let's see how the currant is doing. It's really hard. It's really good that I do these tours because I don't get to these plants otherwise. Because they're just so far off the beaten path, pretty much. Let's see if I can get it to focus because honestly my eyesight right now is garbage. But yeah, we have beautiful fruit coming on. So I'm excited to taste these. Woohoo! Alright, back to the blueberries. Alright, a lot of activity here, people. A lot. I had bought, as you saw, or may not have, but I had bought 2 more blueberries, right? I had left the containers so I wouldn't forget. A Patriot and a Blu-ray were purchased and potted. And also, and not purchased, but came with the order, was a Jersey and another, Patriot? Yep. So this was someone else's order that I got by mistake. Sorry. But I had to plant them. I wasn't going to let them die. And I reached out to my gardener and they said keep it, so here they are. I did have to steal these pots, so I'll have to see how my mother feels about that. Well, she can have the grape one back eventually. Oh, the grape, this is an extra grape also. So I'd only ordered 1 grape. The second order came with this grape, which is the same, which is probably why they got mixed up. So yeah, I just put these in yesterday. This one and the two pots of blueberry. But doing well. Yeah, so I'm gonna transplant the grapes once the fence is done into a nice sunny location, so those pots will be given back if they're wanted. Potatoes are doing well. These blueberries established are looking good. I'll have to net these at some point so that we actually get to eat some of these before the birds get to them. But very excited to have quite a few more bushes with fruit on them compared to the prior years. These potatoes doing really well. A big mistake for me was putting alliums in here. Leeks are in here, not getting any sun. And once I harvest the potatoes, the leeks will be disturbed. Uh-oh, I need to come in here and mulch, put more soil, because we are getting exposure of tubers, which means, well, it means more potatoes, so that can't be a bad thing, but no, not a good thing. Cover up the potatoes. Yeah. Still no tomatoes. Wah, wah. I was under the weather actually all last week when I had to do all this work, so I could only do so much. Here are more nasturtiums plugged in. These are actually seeds, and they're looking way better than the transplants. But transplant, garlic, all wonderfulness. I keep looking for scapes because I keep expecting them already, since everything else is like early, but no scapes yet, so we're on track with the garlic so far. So more nasturtiums in the logs. Oh, that one. So somehow we had a volunteer, either pak choi or bok choy, come in here, and it's already going to flower. This has only been here like less than a week. That's bananas. But anyway, I let it grow. It's cute. we're gonna, well, the chickens will eat that, or I will if I remember to pick it up. Over here, we have peppers in the ground. I got, I got jalapenos. I've got sweet banana. I've got ancho poblano. Over here, we got the shishito and one bell. We only need one. We don't eat that much peppers. I have been cut and come again the spinach. Doing really well with the spinach. I've been feeding chicken sorrel because it's bitter, unpleasant. Kohlrabi, right? I keep forgetting. I think this is kohlrabi. Yep. No. Yes. No movement yet, but the leaves look healthy. I plunked in. What did I plunk in here? Collard. Another red acre cabbage. 2 red acre cabbages. So maybe it's late. It's definitely late, but maybe we'll get something out of it. Who knows? Another area. The rhubarb here harvested. You'll see how that turned out in that next video. Over here, I reinstalled the gate, the fence. So hopefully no more predation will be happening in here. I took the cage out of that one just to see, but I haven't taken this cage off yet. What did I plunk in here? An Ursa kale. Did I tell you this is a kale that I'm leaving just for pollinators, and a broccoli that I'm leaving for pollinators? And these are more broccoli that I didn't have anything to cut the stem off effectively, so I just cut what I could. And this is a nice shade for the ground. Lacinato. That's a Vates kale. This is the first lacinato I put in, not looking so good. And a broccoli down there, looking better than it did originally. And there's a couple of more artichokes that are coming back from having been chewed up. So that's this bed. Yep. And I think, yeah, save the best for last. Yeah, the elderberries are doing fine. They didn't get mowed, thank goodness, because my husband, we got flower activity. Flower cluster. Will it focus on the little flower cluster? It's not much, and there's definitely that beetle bothering this plant. I see, yep, there it is. I see it. Potatoes. The potatoes were starting to get attacked by the beetles. That's where I first saw them. And that other bug. It looks like a flat frog, little brown. I forget what it's called. But they're also on the potato leaves, and they make holes. There's not that many of them, so I just squash them when I see them. And I don't see them right now. Okay, last but not least, pride of joy for me, and I was worried about so much all winter, was the peonies. The peonies survived. Only one I thought survived, but eventually they all started coming up. And I just, this morning, chopped some of this extra foliage weeds that are around that were starting to shade them. But I have peonies. Where is it? This one's the tiniest. That one's, might have to uppot that or transplant that. Here's another one. And oops, this one's covered in wild rose vines. Oh God, don't kill me. Here's the Pia de Resistance. Oh my God, it's going to flower. Sweet. It's not supposed to happen, but I'll let it do what it wants to do. So I gotta keep the weeds at bay. Look how beautiful those roses, the wild roses are. And they smell really nice, but honestly, I don't want to be walking through that. But gotta keep those back. Plus we really gotta harvest all this wood for winter fire. So that will clear up a lot of this. But peonies don't like to be shaded out, so those will be taken care of. And I think that brings us to the end of the garden tour. I think. I filled you in on everything I put in already, and what haven't I put in? Well, the melons, summer squash. I gotta get sunflowers, Brussels sprouts. I want to start. I'm gonna start some now, well, you know, now-ish, and then I'm gonna start a few more weeks because I'm not sure how they'll deal with the heat of the summer, if it's gonna make it all the way to fall. So that's an experiment, but yeah, I've accomplished so much. I was so tired, I was sick. I gotta fix this chicken coop nonsense situation that I've made for myself. The ladies and gents are hunkering down for the storm that's coming, and I will too, because it's starting to drizzle, so I've made it just in time. All right, thank you for watching. Appreciate ya. I'll talk to y'all again soon. So well, harvest more. Bye.